It's just like the thing about me is I've always believed in me, and even when I went through different phases of my life that my confidence was a little bit shaky, at the end of the day, I was like, ain't nobody going to believe in me more than I believe in myself.
Welcome to Entrepreneurhood, where we break entrepreneurship down into three simple pillars: business, lifestyle, and motivation. Our goal is to use our personal experiences as industry leaders to guide and inspire young entrepreneurs to see the lesson in every challenge. Because we understand that companies don't succeed, people do. Now, welcome the leaders of Entrepreneurhood, Leahcim and KB.
Welcome to the neighborhood. You got your boy Leahcim in the building, and I got my brother KB in the building with me. We on episode 49, and we decided to call this one From the Office to the Crib. So this episode, KB is actually going to be taking some time interviewing me on the transition that I made over the last year and 8 months. And it's spooky because a lot of things could change in under 2 years. So KB, let them know what this episode is going to be about.
So in this episode, you're going to let everybody know how you got fired.
I fired myself. I think that's the right term for it.
Yeah, but nah, this is definitely intriguing episode as well as far as your transition and literally going from the office to the crib for working from home, and really, growing your business now. So I know the world is shocking hearing this in another episode. It's like, yo, what do these guys do in the last year and a half? We've made a lot of moves and a lot of changes, that was better for ourselves and our families.
Yeah, bro. I think the reality of it is, we both had to take a step back and see what we really wanted. And, really, like for me, I think the biggest transition was being truly, truly self-employed. Like, yes, I was self-employed prior, but I had contracts, with a client broker that put me in, the different environments. But now, bro, I'm truly employed by myself. And what I realized is no matter where I go, I am the company, bro. It's me.
Bet. So let's get into it for those who don't know, what exactly did you do prior?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started my first company. It's called James Marketing Consultants back in 2015 when I was 22 years old. And I took a leap of faith, bro. I left New York in 2011, moved to Philly, stayed in Philly, graduated college and all that. And then after, I graduated.
Wait, hold on. I got to cut you off because I know the backstory. How long did it take you to graduate?
So yeah, I got my 4-year bachelor's degree in 3.5 years.
And you did that in order to work this sales job?
Yeah, because I realized when I was playing college basketball that playing college basketball wasn't going to get me paid. And I wanted to start making money, because I was paying for my lifestyle. So my hunger just, motivated me to want to graduate college early.
Yeah, and I mean that alone, states what kind of person you are as far as your characters. Like, yo, I'm gonna take, what was it, 16 credits?
Yeah.
I wasn't in school for long, but to say I'm gonna finish early so I could start working more, so I could start making money now. So it goes to show you when you're an entrepreneur, you think differently and you measure your time differently and what's valuable to you, and you make the decision.
Yeah, bro. And now that, thinking about it, it was actually 19 credits. So my last 2 semesters, I took 19 credits per semester. Damn. Just so I could graduate a whole semester early.
To do a sales job that's 100% commission.
100% commission. Yeah, bro. It's just like the thing about me is I've always believed in me, and even when I went through different phases of my life that my confidence was a little bit shaky, at the end of the day, I was like, ain't nobody going to believe in me more than I believe in myself. And I felt like I always had to prove myself. So I think all of the different things that happened in my life is a buildup of me feeling like I needed to prove myself. And I felt like that's why I got into sales, and that's why I grew my sales company. And
so, I mean, we know you used to sell, candy in school, sell bikes, we sold sneakers and calculators on eBay. What about this sales company what did you make that made you eager to like, you know what, I want more of this? What was your first check looking like?
Yeah, so I think it was more of the process of how much money I can make in such a short time. That's what sales made me realize. Sales is not an hourly thing. It's how productive you are in the time that you're given. So at the time, I think it was like every customer we signed up for Verizon, I think we got paid like 75 or like $100 per customer. And the sales process of signing up a customer, it probably took about like 10, 15 minutes. So I'm like, hold on. I started doing the math. I'm like, bro, I could, and I speak very well. And it was exciting, bro. So the thrill of signing a customer up and making, $80 to $100 in a 15-minute period, that was what really got me excited.
And this was a all year round door-to-door situation.
Yeah, so to give the backstory, it was so selling Verizon door to door, and I would, go in. I'm in Philadelphia. I would go people door, knock on their door in Philly. Like say I'm the cable man, you know, the cable internet man, however you want to, position it, and just tell them what I could do. And bro, that's one of the hardest sales I feel like someone could do, to go to someone's house that you don't know, have Verizon gear on, tell them I'm Verizon, I could get you better service, put your social in my iPad. And that journal was crazy, bro. But like, it showed me a few things. It showed me that I'm good at creating new relationships. It showed me that I'm trustworthy, right? Because you got to think, to have a stranger come up to your door and to then give them your social security and your date of birth, about 10 minutes into the conversation, that's you could do a lot of danger with that. But I've always valued integrity. So it allowed me to like really build up my trust factor. So it made it easy for me.
So how did you go from little dude with the clipboard to the corner office?
So just like, the natural leadership, right? Just being a natural leader. So because sales came to me so natural, I then realized that I was great at teaching it. And my mentor, I had a mentor, his name was Chris Migner. Shout out to Chris. He believed in me when I was 20 years old. He gave me an internship. Once I graduated, he hired me full time. And I seen the systems and the structure and what he was running. This guy was running $1 million door-to-door company, hiring young people, teaching them how to be successful. And when I went in his office, I seen a check for like 60,000, 45,000. And I'm like, this guy's like 27 or 25, 26. He's only like 5, 6 years older than me. And he's telling me, yo, Leahcim, if you follow what I'm teaching you, this could be your lifestyle too. So with that, I just showed my worth. Again, the mindset of showing people that I'm valuable. He gave me responsibility. I started learning how to train employees, hire employees, run meetings. And bro, long story short, I went from being an intern to the president of my own company in under 2 years. So in under 2 years of him mentoring me, it allowed me to start my first company. So I met Chris in 2014. And before the end of 2015, I had my own company. And that's when I got my first contract with AT&T. And AT&T asked me if I was willing to move to Indianapolis. So I moved to Indy at the age of 22. And it's crazy, bro. Like I actually spent most of my adulthood in Indianapolis, which is wild to me because I was in Indiana from 22 until I think 27.
Yeah, you was out there for a minute.
6 years, and it was just a interesting transition because it taught me a lot. It really put the stamp on my confidence that I could go anywhere. I could be in any environment and I'll be that guy. I'll be the CEO. I became who I thought I was, and that was the confidence booster that I really needed, was doing well in Indiana.
They say if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Yo, that's ain't no line that statement. And I think just the New York hustle in me, bro. The New York hustle in me really showed me that New York is the most challenging place to be successful. And I took that same hustle I had, I brought it to Philly, I brought it to Indiana, and then I brought it back to Philly. So yeah.
So to give us a detail on now that you're in Indiana, what does that look like, and how many people like you are you working with?
So it's a completely different environment in Indiana. You know, it's not a lot of Black people and very few Black people that's, you know, a president, a young, anyone in their 20s that's running a company. So, you know, I didn't have no examples of other people that look like me. So I realized quickly that, yo, Leahcim, you are the example. People was coming in for interviews, sitting down in my office, looking at this young 23, 24-year-old dude in a suit. They're older than me coming in my company looking for a job. So I felt like at first people, when they came in, they looked at me and was like, oh, so, you know, who do you work for? I'm like, you about to work for me. You better get this right if you get this job.
So they think you was the help.
Yeah, bro. I had to let them know very quickly, like I'm the person that you're applying for to work with. And again, you know, full circle, just looking back on that, I realized I've always been the job. People, regardless of what it was, bro, we could have been, you know, selling trash bags. We could have been, you know, selling whatever the case may be. It's like people, they always bought into me, you know, so that really allowed me to, you know, continue building a successful company. And then in 2021, after I got married, I moved back to Philadelphia.
Now, when you moved back, what was did you feel like you would be able to come back to Philly and still be the man? Or do you feel like, yo, this is, something, a different ball game from what I did for the last, few years in Indy?
Um, yeah, I think my ego was like, I'm gonna go back to Philly and be straight, because that's where I initially started learning how to do sales at a professional level. But the vulnerability side of me was like, yo, what if you go back to Philly and things don't go well? Or what if you go back to Philly and you can't pick it up like how the momentum you have here in Indy? And to be straight up honest, I was just comfortable in Indiana because it was slow pace. The cost of living was crazy cheap, and I was just stacking bread, bro. So coming back to Philly was like, damn, am I ready for all of my expenses to go up again? And I was a little bit scared of that. But once we came back to Philadelphia, it took us a couple months to figure things out. And bro, just that entrepreneur in me, you know, I built the team back up. We promoted people to assistant management. Well, I promoted my guy Dante to assistant management. And we could have kept going if I really wanted to, but I felt like it was time for a change.
So you said that you built a team back up. So what was the maximum people you had at once? And then what was the transition when you went to Philly?
So when I was in Indiana, my sales team, the biggest the sales team was about 30, between 30 and 35 people. Like after you have 30 employees, you start forgetting who's who. So it was somewhere between that.
Yeah, it is.
After 30 employees, bro, you like, yo, you try to remember everybody's name, but it's really difficult.
CEO of the year.
They didn't know that I didn't know their names, but it was cool though. And then when we were making a transition, I told my employees that we're moving back to Indiana, moving from Indy to Philly. Bro, so many of my employees got cold feet. You know, they were like, yo, Leahcim, we mess with you, but Indiana is our home. So going to Philly, I heard like there's a lot of dangerous people in Philly.
Shout
And
out to me.
yeah. And there's a lot of violence in Philly. So, you know, we good here. And only two people moved from me from Indiana to Philly. You know, my guy Dante and a girl named Jasmine.
Wow. So go from 30, 35 people to two people back on the East Coast where Philly is gritty, and you like, we still gonna make it work.
Yo, it takes a certain type of leader to like have that confidence and tell the team that we're gonna be good. Because deep down, like, was I uncertain if things were going to work? Absolutely. But, you know, on the surface, I had to let the team know, like, yo, we're going to be good. And bro, that confidence is really what it took, you know, and we hired a really good girl here in Philly, and she was one of our first solid hires, and we grew the team from 2. And I think the biggest we got it here in Philly was probably like 15, 16 people, bro. So that was the toughest rebuild.
So being that sales is a very competitive, business, competitive sport. How did that work for us, you coming back? Because in my mind, it's like the streets is like, this turf is already taken care of. So did they designate a spot for you guys where y'all could open up at?
Yeah, so how it works is the reason I decided to come back to Philly was Verizon. After COVID cleared out all of the salespeople, right? So especially door to door, people just wasn't able to survive. People were scared to go up to customers' house. And I guess Philly, again, people are just fearful in Philly for some reason. But, a nigga like me growing up in Southside Jamaica, Queens, it's like, I've seen the worst, bro. It's not going to get worse than Southside, in my opinion. So I just looked at what people were fearful of as opportunity to really take over. And it was great, bro. Like when I came to Philly, it was really open territory because everybody was scared of Philly, and COVID wiped out almost every company in Philadelphia.
Gotcha. So that makes a lot of sense. So it's an untapped market because everybody's is not like, we can't do this no more.
Yeah.
So how did it, from that point on, you build your team up. Now, what was the transition where he's like, I'm not sure if I want to continue this journey anymore?
That's a great question, bro. So it was the up and down cycle of realizing who I truly wanted to serve, right? I started noticing I felt like a hamster in a wheel, and I would hire people, invest everything into them, get them up and running, teach them sales in and out. A few weeks later, they quit. But I'm like, it's sales. There's high turnover in sales. So I was like, cool, let me just keep doing this. Hire people. I would think that this girl is going to be the next right-hand person for my company. She does good for a month, she quits. Then it just kept going and going. So I started realizing, I'm like, yo, I truly think the people that I'm serving, they don't really understand the value that I'm bringing to their life. Yeah, I'm teaching them sales, but at the same time, I'm teaching them the structure to a business. I'm teaching them how to dress. I'm teaching them what leadership looks like. I'm giving them experiences. I'm taking them traveling to different places. But when you serve the wrong people, they'll never truly see the value in you. And that was the biggest eye opener for me when I start realizing, I'm like, yo, I personally think I'm serving the wrong people because my impact is bigger than the current employees that I'm serving. So I just, something, in my heart was like, yo, you could do bigger than this. And people always told me that I was going to be doing bigger than the sales company I was running. But in the moment, I felt like that was where my impact was the strongest. So because I felt comfortable with having a strong impact in that environment, it made me feel like was my zone. But bro, as I kept growing, and I actually started coaching people when I launched Leahcim James Coaching, I started taking on a few coaching clients. And with me taking on coaching clients, I started seeing how their business was growing and how well they were doing with less stress and making similar money to what I'm doing. And I'm doing the same numbers with like 15 employees. So it's like.
So did you ever think about going back to Indy?
When I came back to Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Nah, no way, bro. Like Philly is my second home outside of New York because it's a lot of Black people here, and it's close to New York. And my wife family is here. So once we came back to Philly, Philly was like, it was it. There was no reason to go back to Indiana. Indiana was just a straight business move. So yeah, once we was back in Philly, it was like Philly was gonna have to work.
No
Or
friends in Indy, just straight business.
yeah, bro. It was.
So my second question is, at one point, did you ever question your leadership based off your employees' results, like when you came back?
Yeah, I definitely did. I definitely did because we had that ongoing cycle of just the turnover. It made me start questioning, like, are they turning over because of sales or are they turning over because of me? And again, my guy Dante, man, I have the most respect for him, and that's why I invited him to my wedding, is because there were points that I was like, I asked myself, and I don't think I've ever shared this um out loud. You know, I've probably told you or just spoke to my wife about it, but there were times that I was like, yo, I'm leading these people, and I'm leading people that moved from their hometown to come to Philadelphia so we could build something so they could benefit from it. But then when things was going bad, I was like, why haven't they quit?
Mm.
And I asked myself, like, if I was them, would I quit on me? That's how I asked myself. And to be honest, there were times that I was like, if I was them, I would have definitely quit on me.
Wow.
Right. And I think the reason why I said that was because it wasn't the growth that we anticipated. It wasn't happening as quickly as we wanted. But I kept telling them it was going to be good because I truly believed that. But it was just like it was not happening, bro. And it was frustrating because I was investing the time, I was putting in the work. But then it was crazy when I asked myself that question, and the answer at certain points was, yeah, I would have quit on me.
So how do an entrepreneur like knows when to cut the cord? Because everyone always talk about the perseverance story, the resilience, but then if you just keep getting pitfall after pitfall, no changes, when do you like cut your losses? It's like when you're the bad option play for those who got stocks. You just keep believing like it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up, and that eventually probably might never happen. So when do you have your stop loss on your dream or on your vision?
Yeah, wow. That was a great analogy. So I think the thing is when your happiness is truly, questionable, when you're truly unhappy with the process, right? Not the destination of your current situation, but when you're truly unhappy with the process, that's when it comes to a point that you should probably start exploring what other areas you could dominate in. And the reality of it was, I stopped enjoying the process, bro. Like everything about building the sales company made me feel like these people, I got to a point that I felt like I knew I needed to serve higher quality people, because the young 19 to 25 year olds, they just didn't see it because they didn't have enough skin in the game. And I realized I wanted to start serving people that had more skin in the game. So when I transitioned into start coaching in entrepreneurs, I enjoyed that because I know an entrepreneur is similar minded like myself, and they're less likely to quit or give up on their business after they've invested or committed mentally and financially into that business. So I could coach someone through the uncertainties that they're going through if they have skin in the game. When I was trying to coach the salespeople, they didn't have enough skin in the game, and it's 100% commission, so their commitment level is low. And it was like, bro, the process is no longer enjoyable. I personally believe like I outgrown that cycle.
So when it comes down to doing your coaching business now, well, when you started it, how did that pretty much operate? Because did you take a break for a little while from social media?
Yeah, yeah. So I took a break back in 2018. 2018, no, actually, my bad, it was 2019. So 2018 was the best year I've ever had financially. I did just under $1 million in one year. I did about $900,000. So I banked a lot of money in 2018. But similar to like your story is the after I had my best year ever, 2019 was my worst year ever.
Yeah.
Right. And that took a big, stab at my confidence. So for 2019, I took the whole year off and I wasn't on social media for the entire 2019 until January 2020.
So you're not even on Instagram for a whole year, which is like 10 years in social media world.
Facts.
And then you started a sales company. I mean, you started your personal brand in 2021.
Yeah, 2021. Yep.
So shout out to your wife. Shout out to Tiana because this is a roller coaster ride.
Yo, man. It took a lot for me to,
Meanwhile, he's married. He's a newlywed at this.
yeah. Like it's just it was a lot. And then, personally, me and Tiana, we had a tough year because of the transition after our marriage. When we moved to Philly, when we initially moved to Philly, we were trying to figure out like, we wanted to buy a house, but the housing market was crazy. So we had to stay with family. So we went from, I think a 3 bedroom apartment. And then when we moved back to Philly, we had to stay with family in a 1 bedroom. Like me and Tiana had to put everything in 1 bedroom, so it was like, that was difficult for us. And luckily, like 6 months later, we were able to buy a house. But bro, those 6 months of living in a one room with your wife after just being married, bro, that takes a toll.
Yeah, how did you not let your pride get the best of you? Like, what did you do to yourself on a daily? Like, what did you say to yourself? Because that I can't imagine. You're talking about you made 900K just 2 years ago. Now you sharing a room after you got married, had a nice wedding. Like,
Yo, it took everything in me, bro. It's like the concept of self-talk and how you speak to yourself is what got me out of it. And I always say this to you, and I say this to anybody: if having a vision and dreaming wasn't a thing, I don't think I would be where I am today. So it's like, I've always, when things was going bad and Tiana was like just mentally burnt out because we just, again, we share in a room. We just had our own spot together. And I was just telling like, yo, everything is going to be okay. Life has its seasons. And bro, and the toughest part beyond that was like faking it for my employees. Like, bro, running a company, when you come in, leaving your house out of a 1 bedroom situation and then running a company and telling employees, yo, let's go make money today was difficult. But
driving a
again,
Benz.
yeah, right. So like I literally at certain points felt like, I was being an imposter to myself. And I just knew that like the type of person I am and where I want to go, this is a stepping stone. And it's going to make my story that much sweeter, because I always tell myself when I'm in certain situations, like, Kim, get through this situation, because there's going to be somebody that's going to be going through a similar situation that's going to need you to help them get out of it. And if you can't figure this out, once someone you're coaching is in this situation, you have no credibility to help them get out of it because you couldn't get out of it yourself.
Definitely agree with that. So now we at 2021 towards the end, and you said you're able to buy a house. So that's a blessing.
Yeah, you and me, we both bought our house, I think, the same week.
Yeah. So that was something legendary.
Right. Yeah.
First house for me, my family. So now being that you have a house, now you got new expenses, things to focus on. And I'm pretty sure Tiana's happy that you got your own space. But now people don't forget you gotta store a house. Like you gotta make it a home now. You gotta buy furniture, paint, renovate, and then at the same time you're still trying to build your businesses.
Yeah. That was a whole nother challenge, because it's cool, bro. We bought a 5 bedroom house, and just for me and her, right? So that was a huge milestone. The reason,
1 room to 5 bedrooms.
yeah, bro, we had to go big because we was like, yo, we was living like servants, and we went from living like servants to living like kings and queens, and to also plan for our future family. So it was good. It was exciting. And then we was like, damn, we got to furnish 5 rooms in a full basement. So that was a whole nother challenge. But again, Tiana, big shout out to my wife, bro. She kept me sane when things wasn't going great, when I just didn't feel that great about myself. She stepped up to the plate and helped me feel mentally good. And bro, another big thing I want to share was I was not working out as much, right? And bro, I was like 148 pounds, maybe 150 on a good day. And yeah, bro. And I told my wife, I'm like, I want to work out. She's like, just go to the gym. I'm like, nah, the gym ain't doing it. Like, I need more structure. I need more, like, that's how I operate, bro. I operate the best when I have structure and support. So I told her, I was like, yo, I really want to get the tonal. I really want to get the tonal. It's for those who don't know what the tonal is, it's a home gym. And I told my wife I wanted it. And I think for Christmas, bro, Christmas of 2021, she bought me the tonal. And the tonal is like a $5,000 home gym.
Wow. Better work out.
Yeah. That you have to pay a monthly subscription for after you pay the 5 bands. And bro, that was one of the best things that she could have did for me, because bro, once that happened, I got into a consistent rhythm of working out, and I've worked out every single week for the last 8 months. And I went from 150 and now I'm 175, in that process, bro.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So now that you have your personal brand, at what point did you realize, like, all right, I gotta have this hard talk with, 1 or 2 employees and let them know about my next move?
Yeah, and it was more than 1 or 2, because before I decided to retire my company, I probably still had like between 5 and 6 employees. So
Wow.
it was really tough. And I had an HR administrator. So I just had to take a step back, bro. And I was like, yo, Leahcim, by you continuing to show up every day and tell these people that you're going to help them grow and hit different milestones, are you being true to yourself? And I realized that I didn't enjoy it, bro. So I had to take a step back. I reached out to a bunch of people. I reached out to you. I reached out to my other mentors. And I needed guidance. I needed someone to like let me know if I'm tripping or not. And everybody said, yo, Leahcim, whatever you do, bro, you're going to be successful no matter what it is, and you want to be happy in the process. And to be honest, seeing you, make the decision to retire in personal training, that was an extra little push for me too, being like, yo, if my brother KB, just dedicated 10 years of his life to something and is deciding to retire, at the age of 30 and start in something new. I'm like, that's the kind of brotherhood that we have and the confidence we have in ourselves. So I was like, you know what? I had some money in the bank, and I felt good that if I didn't work for a couple of months, I would be okay. And it would give me enough time to figure out what I wanted to do next. So I sat down with a couple of my employees and I was like, yo, I think I'm ready to retire running this company. And I want to give y'all enough heads up. And I want to know how I could support you. And some I gave them more support than others. And that was the toughest decision, bro, because I was fearful of how they would judge me. Because in the beginning of the year, I told them that we were going to do really well, and we did good. But the one thing I want everyone to remember is that it's okay to change, right? As you grow and as you develop, things are going to change. You're going to evolve. Your goals are going to change. How you want to get to them are going to change. And I was embarrassed, but then I realized, I'm like, nah, bro, it's okay to change your mind on wanting to get to the end goal in a different vehicle. And once I accepted that, and I told my employees, bro, it felt like I took 100 pounds of weight off of my shoulders. And then, bro, I felt good. And once I retired and went from the office to the crib, okay, that was when I was truly the happiest, because I finally felt like I did not have so much stress of trying to make sure everybody else was good. So this last, I retired in December of 2022 at the age of 29. And from then until now, right, August the 3rd, it's like, bro, I've been the happiest I've been these last couple of months than I've been for the last 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Wow, that's powerful to say. Well, with the midst of all the success that you had with the sales company.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Leahcim James coaching, tell us, the audience, who's it for?
Yeah. So now my coaching company is really catered towards established entrepreneurs, right? An entrepreneur that has a business model that they just don't know how to scale it. Like, so I'm not a life coach, and I'm not a coach that helps someone start a business. I truly only want to work with entrepreneurs that has a solid lane that they want to be very, very successful in, and they're committed to that lane. If they don't know their lane, I'm not the coach for them. But if somebody knows their lane, what I focus on is giving them structure through accountability coaching. And once their business continues to evolve, then I give them done for you services, so they have access to my team to help them scale their business.
So what are the pains that you came across to figure out you want to solve this problem for entrepreneurs?
Yeah, bro. So I realized myself as a business owner, what were the things that I struggle with, and what are new entrepreneurs struggling with? And I realized so many people have a business and they just don't know how to scale it. They're just focused on making money. And you and me know, in the beginning stages, that's good, but you'll eventually get to a roadblock that your current system of how you making money, you will never get to the next level. Right. So I was like, yo, what is the biggest thing entrepreneurs struggle with? One, they don't know how to set goals. Two, they suck with their follow through. They don't know how to follow through on whatever targets they have. Three, they don't have a back end system. They're just focused on everything front end. And four, they don't have someone that could really bounce ideas, because most of these entrepreneurs, they're talking to their boyfriend and their girlfriends, or they're talking to their best friend who fucking works at FedEx. No shade to anyone that's working there, but the way you think and the way someone thinks that works at FedEx is not the same. So having access to a coach like me, I know how to help them think through their thoughts and help them execute at a high level and give them a clear blueprint on how to accomplish that.
I know you said a lot of them don't have a back end, only a front end. For those who don't even know exactly what that means, what is the example of that? So they can understand.
Yeah. So a front end, right, is mean like you just have a product, right? Let's say you have a t-shirt company and you know how to sell your t-shirt to people, right? But a successful entrepreneur, they have a back end, which is like having a CRM, right? So when you make a sale,
What's
you
the
don't
CRM?
CRM stands for customer relationship management. And it's really a tool that allows entrepreneurs to like manage their leads and have a solid follow-up system, right? So like, let's say someone have a clothing company and they make a sale. Once they make a sale, without a back end, that's the end of your interaction with that customer. But once you have a back end system, you make a sale, you collect that customer's information, they go into your CRM, that customer relationship management, and then you're able to follow up and remarket, re-advertise, and stay in contact with that customer. And I realized so many people, they don't have a follow-up process. They not collected any customers' information, and they're not sending customers any type of information to help them, purchase more.
Wow. So a lot of people you saying have Instagram businesses and don't have anything else.
Yo, that's it, bro. They just have a front end business. And that's why I keep telling people they need to have a coach like me, an accountability coach that gives them structure, because having an Instagram business seems good for the gram, but like, bro, let's say Instagram shut down, right? Which we've all experienced within the last couple of months. Glitches, Instagram is down for a day. There was a point where it was weird, like people were like losing mad followers in the day for some weird reason,
Yeah.
you know, and their entire business is based on Instagram. So if their followers no longer exist or the platform shuts down, their business is dead.
Yeah. And the algorithm is not even the same. You can't just post like how you was posting last year. So, what success or, what have results have you received for the clients that you've been helping, this far?
Yeah, nah. So I have a good amount, bro. So it's been a few clients that's in different industries, and one of my clients, again, what I enjoy is the level of commitment. So one of my clients, he started a credit business. Shout out to John, John Wick. He wanted to enter the financial literacy space. He started with $0 in revenue, told me he wanted to finish the year making $100,000 in revenue. And we were able to not only surpass that, he hit over $100,000 within 10 months. And he finished the year with over 250, $250,000 in revenue with a little over $80,000 in the bank, right? And this is an entrepreneur that started from zero. And I've had a few other entrepreneurs that decided to reach out to me because they just needed more support. And I seen an entrepreneur hit his PR, personal record, with the coaching and the goals that I was helping him accomplish. And he did $50,000 in a week. His
Wow.
business did $50,000 in a week. And it's all because we were able to set targets that were clear and intentional. So he was able to go after it.
So what are you really telling them? Like,
That's the sauce that they gonna have to, obviously hire me as a coach to find out. But just the free game that I tell people is structure, right? Being able to write things out. I give them access. Every client that hires me as a coach, I give them the Entrepreneur Championship Planner. And bro, that planner is gold because it literally shows someone step by step of what they need to do on a consistent basis to do that, and helping them build out their systems, helping them build out landing pages. And what I realized, KB, is that people, they move different when they have a clear plan. Because I realize everybody, they have the energy and they have the desire, but when you're moving and you don't know like how you should channel that energy,
yeah.
it's like you're channeling the energy the wrong way. So by me helping these entrepreneurs channel it in a way that's structured and intentional, it's game over, bro.
Yeah. And I could attest to that because using your planner gave me structure and the accountability that I needed, where, by using it for a year, I doubled my income, just having that base of, all right, this is what I need to focus on this week. This is what I need to focus on this month, this quarter, and so on. People be surprised how much you could accomplish when you write it down. Of course, you got to put in the work afterwards, but it gives you a clear assignment. And I don't like letting down myself.
Yeah.
And I like nice things and like trips, but I can honestly say, your planner has been definitely a game changer.
No, and I appreciate that, bro. I tell people use it as a tool to give you discipline. And one of the things I tell people is when you write in that reward that you want to get yourself for the week, I tell people, like, if it's a big goal, give yourself a reward that matches the goal if you accomplish it. If it's a small goal, give yourself a small reward. But the discipline of not getting that reward unless you hit the goal is something that helps people practice delayed gratification. Even though you could get it without hitting the goal, that delayed gratification, it points people in the right way.
So being that, you so used to working in the office, dealing with a lot of employees all at once, that costs a lot of time, doing team meetings, things of that nature. Being that you don't have that now, how was it to respond and like, yo, my office is actually the crib? Like to wake up one day where it's like you don't even have to put a suit on. You probably got to put a little shirt, for the Zoom call. But what did that actually feel like to you?
Bro, that it's hard for me to put it in words because I truly felt at my happiest, and I felt like I was the same person that I was when I was like a freshman in high school, or before all of the responsibility started building up as I became older. So by just taking that level of stress from having to serve so many employees and so many people pulling me in different directions, it's hard for me to describe because, bro, it was truly like I felt free again. I felt like I was able to really be myself. I didn't have to wear a suit. I could do a Zoom call with my chains on, and I don't know, like tap back into the younger version of myself. So by certain, the best thing is, and I'm still serving my clients at the highest level. But I tell this to people, and I'm grateful for what my sales company did for me, was because once you truly expand what your capacity is of what you could do, it's like an elastic bag, right? Once you expand it, it never goes back to its original form. So because I put myself in an environment for 7 years of dealing with stress at this level, right? Once I retired my company, this is what my stress level went down to, but this was my capacity. So I was still performing up here, but without the stress. So my life just felt like a cakewalk, bro. And I'm the happiest I've ever been.
So what are you doing all this time now?
See, whatever I want to do. So it's been cool, bro. Like similar, like what you said in your episode, I've been traveling. So me and my wife, we went to Italy in April for our, I guess you call it our second honeymoon, right? Like we celebrated
Second
2
honeymoon.
years.
Wow.
Yeah, 2
Rich
years.
friends.
2 years of being married. Was like, yo, let's go to Italy. We went to Italy for a week. July, I traveled the country twice. I went to Jamaica in the beginning of July. Then I went to Puerto Rico at the end of July, and picking up new hobbies, right? Like, yeah, I'm going back and forth to New York like crazy. I bought my new Benz this year, and it's like I'm picking up things that I've been wanting to do. So I got myself a bicycle, and I'm a free spirit now, bro. Like, on days that I have downtime, I just be like, yo, I'm going to ride my bike on a bike trail. And it's crazy, bro. My Benz just be sitting in the back of my crib. And instead, I rather ride my bicycle on a trail and enjoy nature. And
Wow.
that's because I truly enjoy being outside, and bro, I'm happy now, yo.
So, I mean, as I listen to this episode, it's like, yo, I should just retire. Yeah, life would be good.
And what I want people to take away before they jump to that conclusion, right, is I hope they listen to everything I said in the beginning of, I graduated college, in 3.5 years. I started my career at the age of 20. I started my first company at the age of 22. My company generated $1 million by the time I was 24. And, and I worked 7 days a week for the first 3 years of my company. Right. So I hope that they catch that before they hear the part of I retired at the age of 29, because even though I'm retired, I'm still serving my clients in my coaching business. But to me, it doesn't seem like work compared to what I was doing before. It is still work. It still is a mental challenge. And I have to remain disciplined because now I don't have a set schedule. My schedule is based on how I want it to be. So what I realized about being retired, bro, but still obviously running my coaching company, is you could easily get into bad routines when you're truly self-employed and it's based on doing things when you feel like it. So I realized, even though people would say, I'm retired, I will never truly retire from like serving people until I could physically not do that, right? Like, because again, remember, my capacity level is up here. So if I could perform at this level, but this is where I'm performing, again, I won't be happy with that because I'll feel like I'm not being valuable. So it's a balance, and you need to have a healthy balance with, I still want to be a productive person of the economy, and I still want to bring value to others, because that's what gives me my purpose.
So what is the next, season for Leahcim James coaching look like?
Yo, great question, bro. So the next season is, I'm going to continue, coaching people, and I'm very selective with the people I want to coach, and I'm finding ways to become more valuable to my clients. So currently at the moment, what I really focus on is helping my clients build their structure. I'm giving them my planner. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for more ways to improve on the Entrepreneur Championship Planner. So I have a special version of the planner that's going to be launched, I want to say, around Thanksgiving. So around Black Friday, people are going to see the updated version of the planner. And at the same token, I'm also creating my own app. So my app should be launched around that same time period too. It's going to be called the Championship Routine. So the way Leahcim James coaching is going to be is, people are going to have different tools that I supply them with to keep themselves accountable. And as they desire to work their way up to work with me one-on-one, they're going to get access to my team, and my team is going to be the support that an entrepreneur needs to play at a high level without the level of stress that comes with entrepreneurship. So it's a lot of things cooking, bro. A lot of things cooking right now.
Damn, that's what's up. So it went from a planner to a full-fledged, flat out, every step of the way business, where it's like, we got you at every level, wherever you want to go, and having your own team. So you give them the accountability, then you give them the systems to run. They just literally have to just walk it out and have a great product, a great service.
That's it, bro. I'm helping entrepreneurs now that have a solid business, have every step of the way mapped out, from the structure, the accountability, me as a coach, and then also having a team that supports them. So Leahcim James coaching is really, looking to be the one-stop shop for entrepreneurs that want to build their business structure. Because KB, what I realize is that's the biggest things entrepreneurs miss. Most entrepreneurs, they got the hustle, they got the grit, right? But they just don't have the structure, and they're channeling their energies in the wrong areas.
So besides new entrepreneurs, is there anybody you don't work with?
Yeah, so I don't work with people that don't have a clear vision on what they want to do with their business, or they don't know what lane they want to focus on, right? So that's really the only type of people I don't work with. Like if someone says, Leahcim, I don't know what kind of business I want to start, can you help me start a business? Again, I'm not the coach for that, right? I need to work with someone that say, look, Leahcim, I got a skincare company, and this is who my skincare product is for. I just don't know how to, like, how could I get more people into my ecosystem? There's a term called the value ladder, is what I'm helping a lot of my clients build. And once they have that direction, then that's where I come into play, and I'm able to help them hit their goals, bro. And what I like is, I feel very confident that any online entrepreneur that knows their business lane, I could serve them at a high level.
That's tough. That's a powerful statement. You
Yeah,
stand 10 toes on that.
right. Yeah, no doubt, bro. No doubt.
So, as we wrap up, from the office to the crib, what would you say is the biggest takeaway that you got from one of your failures that led you to be, the office to the crib?
I think the biggest thing, bro, is the process. Whatever you're doing, you have to make sure you enjoy the process, because it's not the destination that we truly want to get to as an entrepreneur. Is the process of who you become and the skill sets you develop on that journey. And what I realized of the main reason of why I retired my company is because I stopped enjoying the process. Now, okay, I'm loving the process right now of building Leahcim James Coaching. I'm loving it. So whatever you decide to do not focus on the end destination of what it is you could get when you get there. The process is what's going to make you as an entrepreneur, and that's going to help you really let you know what your character is about.
Wow. AKA keep your job.
Yeah. Like, yo, if you don't love the process, you gotta do what you know is best for your current situation, right? And as your situation grows, then you'll know when it's the right time to make that move.
No, I believe that's powerful, brother. There you have it, from office to the crib. It's been an amazing journey, and it's felt like he's just starting a new one. So it's going to even
anyone can start, but only champions finish. Now that you've completed this episode, you're ready to continue your journey by connecting directly with our hosts of Entrepreneurhood. Follow us on Instagram at The Entrepreneurhood to stay updated with the community. For each episode, the first set of listeners to tag us on Instagram and leave a 5-star review will be entered into a drawing to get a free one-on-one coaching session on the topic of entrepreneurship with our hosts. Remember, there is no shame in struggling, because we fail, we grow, and we win. Right here on Entrepreneurhood.